Welcome back everyone, Mike here. It is another overcast and dreary day here in Pennsylvania, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot colder today than it was yesterday. Yesterday it was about 65, 68 degrees, something like that, and then last night we had some serious winds. It blew all night long, probably 40, 50 mile an hour gusts, something like that. I haven't been out in the woods to see if there's any more downed trees. I'm sure there are, but it's pretty calm here today. So I'm down here at the sawmill and I'm getting ready to saw some more of that red pine. I'll show you what I got going on here and what I have planned. So this is one of those pallets that my buddy Rusty brought me, and then I just cut some of the 2x4s. I saw these the other night on the Woodmizer, but man, a real 2x4, 2 inches by 4 inches, is a lot bigger than a store-bought. I mean, obviously the store-boughts are 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches, but once you get your hands on one of these, that's the real deal right there. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start sawing some more of this red pine. We might saw one log up and then maybe go for a little hike, take some ribbon with me, and find some more that I want to take down. But there's a bunch of ones that are just recently died that I think will be real good, and there's some other areas where I could do some thinning, but there's just a ton of it out there. And so far, I know this stuff's only sat for a few days, hasn't moved at all. I think it's going to work really, really well. But what I want to do, I want to build some drying sheds for lumber, maybe for some firewood, and right here I'm going to start stacking what I saw on here. And what I'm going to do is saw what I need last. So in other words, I'm going to work on some siding right now because that'll be the last thing that I need. And we'll get a good jag of siding on here over the next week or two, and then cut some 2x material, 2x4s, 2x6s, and a few 2x8s. And we'll get enough here and we'll build some drying sheds. Should work out really well. That way, like I said, the siding I'll need last. It'll be on the bottom, so I won't be having to go through the whole pile. I'm not going to let it dry real long, maybe a month or so. I think it's pretty stable. It should be fine for just, you know, little sheds and things like that. Here's a few of the logs that I have here. I'm probably going to take this one right now. It's probably only about 13 inches in diameter. These were further up the tree, so they got a lot of knots in them. I think those are the ones that I'll use for siding. The clearer ones that were down towards the base, I'll use them for more structural stuff, like 2x8s, 2x6s, things like that. But I haven't sawed any of these, I don't think, with that many knots in them. It should be okay, but we'll see here in just a bit. So here comes Melissa and the dogs, and the cat. Did you ever see a cat that like goes for a walk with people? Jinx the cat does.
And the whole time she acts like a ninja.
She does.
Sneaks behind a tree.
But Melissa, she wants to share a story.
Oh, I've been dying to share a story.
That I don't want to tell anybody about, but we'll go ahead and share the story.
It's good.
So I'll start this little story here, and if she gets carried away, I'm the one that does the editing, all right? So I'll take care of it.
Oh, this is so good.
But last Thursday, I took a day off of work, and it was nice and frozen. You saw some of those videos, we talked about it. And anyway, I was out working, I was going crazy, picking up big logs, doing all sorts of stuff, and I was actually just reaching for a chain, and I tweaked my lower back, and I do that a couple times a year, and it hurts. But this time wasn't quite as bad as it normally was, and I ended up working the rest of the day. And as long as you're moving, it's not really that big of a deal. It's the next morning when you try to get out of bed, you can't get out of bed. But I managed to the next day, and I went to work all day, and everything was good. And at work, I pretty much just drove around in the truck. My back was a little tender, right? It wasn't too bad. So I come home, and it's later that evening, and I just lay down on the couch watching some TV or something for a few minutes, and you came over to show me a video, right?
I did, and I'm like, here, watch this, it's funny.
Don't do it again, whatever you do.
You know, the video, he was like, oh yeah, I go, come on, that was funny, and she tickled him.
And she like tickled me and jabbed me. I'm laying on my side kind of crooked, and I jumped, and I let out a scream. It was horrible.
The best part was like, I froze, but Hunter and Hannah were in the room, and even the dogs, everyone just froze and looked like, what's happening?
I never felt pain like that.
Hannah went one way, Hunter went the other way, and like, I went into the pantry in our kitchen. There's a walk-in pantry at the door, and closed the door and just laughed because we had no idea.
It wasn't funny at all to me, but it felt like, I mean, just someone stuck a knife in my back and twisted it. It did, and it was all from her, me being in the wrong position, and it was bad. It was really bad. And then the next day, couldn't get out of bed again. I couldn't even get off the couch that night. It was rough, but She gets a kick out of this stuff. I don't find it real funny.
Okay,
to tell you the truth.
but the funny thing was because I tickled him, and
yeah,
yeah.
She tickles me. She scares me. She likes scaring people.
Hey. Oh, yeah, I do. I love it. How many of you would love that?
So that's the turned down version of the story, but that pretty much covers it in a nutshell. I think.
It's good.
Yeah, but the back's feeling good now, and like I said, as long as I get out moving around. I'm no doctor, obviously, but it must be like a nerve thing or something. It's never when I pick something up heavy or do anything like that, but it's always reaching, you know, like reaching out, bending over and turning or something, and it gets you. You feel it, and then it just gets worse. As soon as you sit still for a while, I'm done for. Oh boy.
Yeah, I even came home from church today and Hannah was in the kitchen and I'm like, hey Hannah, she's like, don't do that.
Everyone's a little nervous around her.
Gosh.
But today, I was just showing them that pallet Rusty brought me.
Oh yeah, I'd love one of those hanging on the wall.
Well, that's pretty big, it's 5 by 12. So what I'm gonna do, these logs here, I'm gonna use for some drying sheds, and I'm gonna start sawing the siding first, because that'll be the last thing that I need, you know what I mean? And we'll sticker it right on there. It's only gonna have to dry for probably about a month. It's not gonna be completely dry like you're building furniture. It's just gonna be for some sheds. But I'll do siding first, and then I may go for a hike in a little bit, look for more of that pine, put some ribbon on it, something like that, so I know where it's at. Because I feel like I'm catching up with you, or catching you up. I was telling them next week it looks like it's gonna get cold, so I'll get some trees marked and I'll know where they're at, go drop them and get them over here to the yard. But this Woodmizer, it saws this pine quick. It does. Even though I don't have the hydraulic log turner, it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
It is. So I'm going to work on this for a little bit.
Wouldn't that be better upside down and then you could just stick your forks in? And
That's a good point. So those pallets there, they're designed, they put I think 5 by 12 laminate on those, and they have like extended forks, and they're like that so they can take them out of box trucks. You can't get them from the side anyway. So I can't just go under them from the side and pick them up. But using those 2x4 runners that I put on there, my forks will fit under there to be able to lift.
Are those your homemade 2x4s?
Those are the ones that I sawed. Isn't that nice? So
resourceful. Ooh, almost wanted to punch me.
She's rough. I'm just nervous around her. You know,
that's what I want.
Keeps me in line.
1 week from today, everybody.
What's that? 50th birthday. Yeah.
You can edit that out.
No, it's staying. So I think that's it for now.
Oh, and we have another birthday this week.
Oh yeah, Piper.
Piper's turning 5.
Piper's turning 5.
Come on, Pipes.
Come on.
And she got...
Yeah, show them how nice the dogs look.
Look how beautiful. Piper, so soft. Watch this with Piper.
You got to keep your eye on her.
You just push right here and she does a twerking dance.
You just actually have to hold your hand still and she'll start. Maybe not. Now that you're on camera, you're making her nervous.
Yeah.
But you got to keep your eye on them in weather like this.
She knows it's a family channel.
Yeah. She takes them to the groomer, then you get a muddy day like this. You got to watch them.
Yeah, and Rue, he wasn't real sure of the groomers, but this is the second time in a row. Now that their boss is gone.
Look at her ripping up that. She can get sap all over.
She's so crafty. She's always making something. All right, Piper, come here.
All right, I'm going to put one of those on the mill, maybe cut a little siding.
Okay.
You got to head up to the house, don't you?
Yeah, going to the house. We have Levi, Kate, and the baby are coming over tonight.
All right, I won't be long.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Come on, guys. Look at Piper. This is rough. This movie's rough.
before I get started, I need to go up to the house and get my headphones. I wear those 3M, they're the Bluetooth ones. I had the yellow ones for a long time. They're those gray ones, the ones that I have now. And it's kind of nice. Put a little music on while you're sawing. Plus, you know, it offers the ear protection. Works good. While I'm thinking about it, I want to show you this. This is the debarker, okay? A lot of people ask questions what this is, why I use it sometimes I don't. But what this does, this will spin in, and if you got a log with like, you know, maybe you drug it through the mud, or even just with like real heavy, thick bark on it. Bark is sometimes actually more abrasive than the actual wood. So what this does, it cuts a little groove into the bark ahead of the leading edge of the blade. So in other words, it kind of cleans the log and extends the blade life on the blade. On this pine, I don't even really use it because I didn't drag these logs through the mud. The bark's real thin on it. I mean, maybe it'd be a good idea, I don't know, but it's just kind of one less thing to think about if I'm not using it. When I'm sawing, you know, logs that are dirty, or some of that oak, you know, big, deep, thick bark holds a lot of dirt, I'll use the debarker. All right, this is how you adjust the blade tension. When you're not sawing, you take all the pressure off. And I sometimes forget to do that. And I'll go up to the house or whatever, and I always remember within an hour or something. And then I gotta come back down here in the dark and release the tension on the blade. But I'm getting better at remembering that. What I'm doing here, by the way, one of the things I'm doing with this red pine, I'm kind of learning as we go here. Like, for example, I'm just going to saw some siding right now. I'm going to saw it a little bit thinner than what I do like the 4/4 hardwoods. That stuff I'm sawing like 1 1/4 inches. Some of it like 1 1/16 inches, because you're supposed to be able to finish it at 3/4. So I may be a little bit heavy on the hardwoods, but the siding, I'm going to saw it a little bit thinner so I can get more out of each log. And then just kind of testing things out with these drying sheds that I'm going to build. You know, I'll see if things are cracking or moving or whatever, and just kind of learn as I go here. red pine log. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 by 8.5 inches wide for some siding. And I left on the mill, I got to grab it 1 2 by 8. I'll save that one, use it for some framing stuff. But yeah, that's pretty impressive by that one little log. Like I said, I'm just kind of learning and experimenting, but I saw these right at 7/8 of an inch thick. And I think that should be pretty good for siding. However, I won't know till they dry some to see if it's, you know, cracking or splitting or whatever, but we'll just adjust as needed as we go. But we got a lot of this red pine. I think I mentioned before it was planted in the 50s. Yeah, these are 8.5 inches wide. Planted in the 50s, too close together, lots of them die. Plus, I mean, you could thin some out, just take the dead ones. There's enough of it to cut for the rest of my life, that's for sure. So running this sawmill, now I'm just talking for myself here, is one of the most relaxing things to me. I don't know why, I just really enjoy this. Buying that mill was one of the best purchases that I ever made. Now don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work, and I think, you know, if I was doing this to try to make a living, it'd probably just have the stresses that go along with any real job. But I really enjoy being able to like harvest, you know, dead trees or blowdowns, or if you're thinning some areas, trees on your own property, and be able to turn it into something with this mill. I do. I really enjoy this. I always said that splitting wood was my favorite thing to do. Now I have 2 favorite things to do. I still love splitting wood, and I love running this sawmill. And I still have a lot to learn, but I'm getting better at it, and I'm starting to see results. 2020, there's gonna be a lot happening around here. I'm gonna be building some stuff, just a lot of good things happening. I can't wait until, I think it's March 8th when we turn the clocks. That'll be awesome when we do that. Springtime will be here before you know it. Wintertime's always rough around here, but we've managed to get quite a bit done over the winter so far, so hopefully that continues. And one more thing I wanted to mention before I wrap this up. I want to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. Over the last month, we've gained, I think, 15,000 people that have come join this little community, which is really cool. And something I want to take from Buck and Billy Ray, what he does on his channel. All you guys that comment, you know, when somebody's new to the channel and they make a comment and say, hey, I just showed up, I'm here for the first time, welcome them to the channel. That would be great. I'd appreciate that. We do our best to answer as many comments as we can, and we stay on top of the emails and the Facebook messages pretty well. We do pretty good at that. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. And like I always say, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, click subscribe, and share them with your friends. Thanks.